tonight on Now.
Everything he said was factual, and I stand behind my chief.
An FBI investigation, a criminal trial, and ruined reputations for sex by a former sheriff plague Oxford County.
Families are reunited at the border as the Trump administration is forced to back off the zero-tolerance policy. But did they do their job?
And a sign of inclusion, proving the arts can bring all people together.
This is News Center Now.
Guys, we can talk about something going on right now in the Lewiston area. These are videos coming in. We've seen pictures, just some massive flash flooding happening in the Lewiston area right now. A lot of people posting their pictures and videos on social media, and we want to get right to that. Hi, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. Let's get right to Ryan Breton, who has the latest for us right now. Hey, Ryan.
Good afternoon, Lee and Lindsay. In the tropical humidity we've had, these downpours moving through the state have been really heavy. And in the case of the one moving through Lewiston, it's been tracking over the same area for the last hour and a half or so, which is why a flash flood warning has been issued for southeastern Androscoggin County until 6:30. This is one of the alerts that's triggered on your phone. So if you're in Lewiston or you're in Sabattis, your phone got this alert about a half hour ago, and it means that the rain is falling so heavily that in an urban area like this, the storm drains just can't keep up with it. There already are some reports of minor flooding, and there could be more substantial flooding as we go through the next hour or so. This warning is in effect until 6:30, but you can already see the back edge of the rain, so this should not be an all-night event. It's coming through Poland and New Gloucester right now, but it's still raining very hard in Lewiston itself. Some of the rainfall amounts that we've been able to estimate from Doppler radar so far are on the order of about an inch to an inch and a half in this general area, and that's why the flash flood warning has been issued. There's also some very heavy rain a bit farther north and east, just moving out of Augusta, coming through Vassalboro, Waterville, also moving up towards Skowhegan and Norridgewock. More heavy downpours coming through Dover, Foxcroft, but the heaviest of the rain has just moved out of the Portland area. We'll keep an eye on the Lewiston situation. Feel free to send your pictures and videos safely with us, and I'll see you in a few minutes with the rest of the forecast.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. And obviously, if you're in Androscoggin County, please stay safe. Don't go out into these waters. Let the storm pass, and then go out and make sure everything's okay. All right, here's a story we've been following for you. The former Oxford County sheriff will have to stand before a judge and address the accusation that he asked a deputy in his department for sex.
Wayne Gallant resigned in December, but now he faces a court subpoena and criminal charges. Chris Costa and Christina Rex are teaming up tonight to bring you the full story. Guys, Gallant isn't the only key player due in court.
Yeah, Lee and Lindsay, Wayne Gallant and his former chief deputy, Hart Daly, have been subpoenaed according to members of the Sheriff's Department, and they'll have to appear in court on Tuesday. We're going to explain why, what that means, and what comes next in a minute, but Christina, there's an extensive history that got us to this point.
Yeah, so Chris, we know the FBI has been investigating the department since at least November. And it's all coming to public light now because of a really obscure connection between a local criminal case and that federal investigation into the sheriff.
Chief Deputy Wainwright.
July 11th, 2018, Oxford County Chief Deputy Chris Wainwright is called to testify in a criminal domestic violence case against former Deputy Brian Landis. In his testimony, revealing the existence of a federal investigation.
I met with the FBI.
Landis was arrested and charged with domestic violence in June of 2017.
State versus Brian Landis.
Landis was removed from the Sheriff's Department pending trial. By November 2017, the FBI opened a criminal investigation into the Oxford County Sheriff's Department, targeting then Sheriff Wayne Gallant and Chief Deputy Hart Daly. In that same month, a union representative revealed sexually explicit photos of Gallant to the public. Pictures the former sheriff allegedly texted to his subordinates, including Brian Landis and his wife.
Some members of the agency were complaining about being sexually harassed, and there was a potential assault by the current sheriff, Wayne Gallant, at that time.
The county then opened an investigation into Sheriff Gallant's behavior. In December, Gallant resigned from his position, and Deputy Chief Hart Daly took over in the interim. News Center Maine interviewed Daly at that time. He claimed to know nothing about Gallant's behavior.
So I was as blindsided as everybody else, but I certainly wouldn't have turned a blind eye to it had I known.
In February, Jim Terrio was appointed interim sheriff. Hart Daly left the department.
Hart Daly was removed from office. He was escorted off the property. We took his phone and computer, and prior to that, he was told that we needed to preserve everything. We received the phone. It had been wiped clean. We questioned him about the laptop, and he said he had only deleted a couple of photographs.
Now Daly is under FBI investigation for allegedly destroying or concealing evidence, and Gallant is under investigation for sexual misconduct. Brian Landis is trying to get his case thrown out, claiming police misconduct by Sheriff Wayne Gallant. So we reached out to both Wayne Gallant and Hart Daly. We did not hear back from either of them. We also asked the FBI, but they would not confirm whether or not they're investigating. But we do know that the Sheriff's Department told us they've been doing interviews with the FBI up to this point, and we are expecting both Wayne Gallant and Hart Daly in court on Tuesday.
Now, all of this information is very troubling for the current interim sheriff, Jim Terrio. He's worried that all of this information now coming to light in the public forum could damage a months-long FBI investigation.
I am behind my chief deputy 100%.
Sheriff Jim Terrio is in a difficult spot.
And I met with the FBI.
Confirming that everything his chief deputy, Chris Wainwright, said in court is true, but concerned that this now public information could damage the FBI investigation into claims of sexual misconduct by former Sheriff Wayne Gallant.
It's going to have a negative impact on the investigation.
Even before he was appointed, Sheriff Terrio was briefed on the questioning of sheriff's deputies about Gallant's alleged behavior. He's now tasked with regaining the public's trust.
I'm not trying to clean it up. I'm just trying to right things that I don't feel are right within the department. I've learned a lot about what's going on here, and a lot of it is not good, but there are good things happening in Oxford County, and we're on the uphill.
Sheriff Terrio says he plans on running for the full sheriff position in November because he believes his job is not done here. Not everything is fixed in this department. He believes there's more work to be done.
Guys, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much for that team coverage from Oxford County. Appreciate it. All right, news from today, not guilty. The Kennebunk teacher accused of sexual abuse of a student is cleared on all counts. In closing arguments, the defense said that the state had nothing to prove its case besides the victim's word, country song lyrics, and emojis. Jill LaMontagne took the stand in her own defense and explained the text messages with her teenage student. The jury obviously believed her.
More than 1,600 children are reunited with their parents as Customs and Border Patrol scramble to meet today's court-ordered deadline. But now the ACLU is taking its legal action a step further, asking a judge to hold off on any deportations until the reunited families have time to consider their options. The family separations dominated headlines across the globe for weeks. The Trump administration may have succumbed to public pressure, but his supporters think his zero-tolerance immigration policy did its job.
So we want to hear from you. We know you guys have opinions about this. Do you think the president's immigration policies will deter immigrants from crossing the border illegally? Vote right now in today's Pulse poll. We want you to go to pulse.newscentermaine.com or open up the Pulse tab on your mobile app. Oscar Margain will report for us right now from the U.S.-Mexican border.
And although there's been widespread condemnation from across the political spectrum, some who support the president have been left wondering if the zero-tolerance policy could have accomplished its intended objective of discouraging people from crossing the border illegally.
Do you feel like it ended too soon?
I do think that if it had been given a little more time, that people probably would have seen that it was a good solution. I mean, he was enforcing laws that were already in play.
34-year-old Christina Garfield is a Latina Republican and mother of 4 living in the Texas Rio Grande Valley, a Democratic stronghold. She believes the backlash that followed family separations was exacerbated by both the media and liberal politicians looking to win in the upcoming midterm elections.
Come through a legal port of entry where you're not going to get prosecuted, where you're not going to get separated, where you're going to get the documentation that you need so that you can come in and seek asylum.
40-year-old Isabella was reunited with her 17-year-old daughter after being separated for 40 days. The Salvadorian mother said customs officials split them apart after seeking asylum at a port of entry. Had she known coming to the border meant being stripped away from her daughter, she said she wouldn't have come. Cristina suspects immigrants fleeing their countries are being misguided by gangs that profit from human smuggling. As the daughter of a once undocumented immigrant, she feels that cartel violence changed her view on border security and on immigration.
This is not about party lines. This is about securing our border, period.
In McAllen, near the Texas-Mexico border, I'm Oscar Margain reporting.
Okay, a quick look now at our pulse results. Will the president's immigration policies deter illegal immigration? 29%, 30% of you saying yes, and then about 70% saying no at this time. Okay, moving on now. A new musical will have some unusual dance moves.
It's less of choreography and more focused on your interpreting a song.
How a local theater group is making sign language part of its performance.
And who are the highest paid influencers on Instagram? It's not me. Last year's leader is dethroned. The Instagram rich list is coming up next.
It's not Keith either.
It's definitely not Keith. All right, guys.
How's it going, guys? Hey, if you're in the Lewiston area, please be safe. Talk to us, though. What's going on? We want to know.
A lot of you guys are in on our Oxford County coverage. Kathy says every crooked cop hurts all cops. Shame on them. Gina says he gives the badge a bad name.
Jackie, are you coming back to Maine? Wow, Constance is watching from Cuba.
Very nice. Somebody said I can't see it, but they said hello from the Cape, and then it was like ... Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, yeah. I love it.
That was cute. But hello. There you are. Hello. What else? Children are being used as pawns.
Right.
Amanda's backyard is flooded.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Will you say the two athletes that I didn't know the names of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will. Several inches of water, Amanda. Take a picture there and send it to us.
Yeah, if it's safe to do so, or video. Hey, guys.
If you can do it from inside your home.
Real quick, turn your phones, instead of doing it this way, do it this way. Do it the wide way. And then it'll be on TV.
This next story is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, a little ridiculous. Just a bit. Boop. Eek. Yep.
How do you want to go? We have 10 of these, so.
I want to do 5 and 5. I'll do 2, you do 2. 2.
Does that give you the ones you want?
I don't know. I'm not good at math.
Well, you don't want 8 and 9, so those are together. So we can't do them in even numbers.
Let's just go for it. As long as you have those two, I don't care. This will be fun. Lee's going to cover the sports stuff, if you know what I mean.
Oh, my God. I can't even believe that this is a real thing.
This is a thing. This is goals. Okay.
All right, so you don't have to be an actor or a financial genius to be a millionaire. Nope, all you have to do is be wicked good at the Instagram.
The Instagram. Okay, everyone knows you can make some serious cash as an influencer, but brace yourself, especially you, for these numbers. Let's break down Hopper's annual Instagram rich list. First up, no surprise here, Kylie Jenner. Listen to this. $1 million she makes per post.
I don't get that. You take a picture of yourself and they give you $1 million per post?
And then boom.
What am I missing?
Money.
Okay, Selena Gomez gets $800,000 for each one of her posts. Cristiano Ronaldo, the famous superstar, gets I'm going to go with $750,000.
$75,000.
I feel like it's $750 because this is
really?
an order. So I feel like that's a typo.
Okay.
$750,000 per post.
I leave you to do the sports and the math.
All
okay,
right.
Kim Kardashian, $720,000, right?
Yeah.
Beyonce, $700,000. I'm surprised Beyonce's not further up on that list.
So when The Rock takes a picture of himself, Dwayne Johnson picks up $650,000. I would be taking pictures of myself all day long.
All right, the Biebs, he clocks in at $630,000.
Couple more soccer stars with international appeal. Neymar gets $600,000. Messi gets $500,000 per post.
And last but not least, Kendall Jenner, $500,000. You would think she'd be a little higher up there too.
I would think all of them would not get any of that.
That's true.
But that's me. Anyway, let's take a picture. Put it on Instagram.
Exactly.
Cardio while curbing pollution.
Just something that we need to protect to really maintain our quality of life here.
An exercise trend that's making its way to Maine from overseas to help preserve our seas.
And the skies are darkening, the clouds moving in. Ryan is tracking storms next in his full forecast. Ambassadors. So now big companies like Cape Cod Potato Chip, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they're all these huge companies, hotels are paying people who have a lot of followers and a lot of influence to represent their brand.
So it's the new commercial, really. Instead of shooting a 30-second commercial for a car company, if you take a picture next to a car,
right,
you're going to get paid.
And sometimes it's not so in your face. Like sometimes, when I say in your face, I mean like you've seen the post for the FabFitFun. Right, like it'll be like hashtag fit, hashtag whatever. Okay, sometimes it's just like a can of Coke that's on the counter, and the label might not even be faced towards the camera, but you can tell that that's a Coca-Cola bottle, and said person posting that or in the picture with it is probably getting paid by Coca-Cola.
What's going on, Dennis? I still just can't get over that. I mean, if you put it in the terms of it's just like shooting a commercial for the product, then that makes a little bit more sense to me. My fundamental issue with 3 of the people on that list is they've done nothing except be born into a rich family. Like if you're an athlete or an actor or you have any type of a skill, then you get compensated for that and they want you to advertise their product or be on Instagram, that's fine. But I'm sorry, if you're just born into a rich family, how have you earned the right to do that? You haven't. You were just born well. You didn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in thinking that. Real quick, Mary Lynn and Jesse appear to be having a conversation. As always, let's just keep it civil and polite. Deborah says, the roads in Lewiston look like rivers.
Christine, hopefully you're safe in Lewiston as well right now. Obviously, as you saw, hopefully at the beginning of our show, and Ryan is going to come back and talk about it in a second, but Lewiston is kind of the bullseye right now for the flash flooding. So if you're not in Androscoggin County, Lewiston, Sabatis area, please be careful out there.
A Dr. Seuss classic brought to life through song and dance. On top of learning their lines and the notes and choreography, the kids also had to learn a new language.
Yeah, they learned sign language to incorporate into their songs and parts of the show, which is unbelievably awesome. There are some theaters in Maine that have interpreters, but they really wanted to take that concept and kick it up a notch.
If their costumes don't enthrall you, their energy will. And if you look a bit closer, something else might catch your attention. sign language.
It's less of choreography and more focused on your interpreting a song. It's another language.
The cast of Schoolhouse Art Center's performance of Seussical wanted their show to make a lasting impression on everyone, whether they can hear or not.
For the deaf community to be able to see like one whole show and having the actor sign it, I feel like that's very new, and I love being a part of that.
The idea came from the show's director, Zachariah Stern,
Let's boogie,
who's used sign language most of his life.
My mom is deaf, and that's why I've been so passionate about this from the beginning.
Most of the cast members never signed before, but Stern says his cast handled the challenge beautifully.
From a performance aspect, it's really unique and different that not many actors can take on, embrace such a challenge like that and do it successfully.
Every song incorporates signing, but one in particular stands out.
far beyond the sky.
The piece is called Alone in the Universe, and the entire song is signed. A simple addition that has already made a big impact.
One gentleman said this is his first theater performance he's ever been to because there's never been an opportunity for him to see live theater that he could understand and be a part of.
I actually saw the gentleman sitting in the audience and saw the smiles and the happiness that he was able to enjoy the show.
Taking their performance and ability to connect with their audience to a whole new level, one sign at a time.
To know that we're simple community theater actors, but we had a chance to be able to present more than just our acting abilities, that we were able to communicate with somebody. I think that personal connection.
That was Samantha York with that awesome story. This is the last weekend of the performance at the Schoolhouse Arts Center in Standish, and actually on Saturday they'll be bringing in an interpreter to sign the entire show, which is pretty cool
as someone who has a family member that is deaf, this is very, very, very cool.
Very cool. Okay,
this
is not so cool. We talked about this beginning of the show, and Ryan's here now. Before we get to him, take a look at this. We're getting pictures and video from a lot of you of the flash flooding going on in Androscoggin County, specifically Lewiston. A lot of you on our Facebook and YouTube feeds chiming in with what's going on in Lewiston right now.
Yeah, and what happened here is it's been so humid, and finally that humidity has just resulted in these big tropical downpours. And in the last 2 or 3 hours in Lewiston, about 2 or 3 inches of rain has fallen.
Wow.
But the good news is the rain is starting to move along, so where it has flooded, things should pretty quickly start to subside. But we do have a flash flood warning that's up until 6:30. Here's a look from Bates and Oak Street. At all costs, this is what you don't want to do. There's a saying, turn around, don't drown, because you never know what's underneath this water or how fast it is moving, and that's why the flash flood warning is in effect until 6:30, especially because this is happening over an urban area. But look at the radar. A lot of the rain is starting to move east, the heaviest of it now working through Wiscasset and Augusta. But here's a closer look at Lewiston. You can see for a solid hour and a half, 2 hours, some very heavy rain came down, and it amounted to about 2.5 inches right over Lewiston. A couple of the flooding reports we've received: Route 126 in Stanley Street, and you saw that picture from Ash and Bates Street. As I mentioned, the heaviest of the rain has ended in Lewiston, but for the next hour or so, there may still be some water rises, and just do your best to avoid those if you're out traveling for the next hour or two. Here's the heavy rain now coming through Augusta and Jefferson. Not as heavy as it once was, and it's moving a little faster, but there may be some minor flooding within some of these heavier rain bands lifting through Waterville, Skowhegan, Pittsfield, just getting close to Bangor and Old Town, heavier up toward Dexter, and also as you get toward Dover, Foxcroft, and Greenville right now. Southern Maine, most of the rain has ended, but it came down pretty heavily around 4 o'clock this afternoon in southern York County. Temperatures right now are in the 70s, and the dew point is up there too, lower 70s, so very humid air is in place. The humidity may drop a little bit tonight, but it's still going to be muggy with overnight lows dropping into the 60s. I think we start tomorrow morning with some sunshine, but a front will still be in the area tomorrow afternoon, so we may do this again with pop-up thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, first in the mountains, then working their way to the coast. And within some of these, there could be some heavy rainfall and the potential for severe weather, especially back in the mountains and into northern and western Maine. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast. Here we go. After that, Saturday is another wet day. It's humid with scattered showers. We finally break the humidity though on Sunday. That looks like the pick of the weekend with sunshine and temperatures in the low 80s. And we get a couple of nice days Monday and Tuesday before we get back to the humidity and storm chances Wednesday and Thursday.
Isn't it amazing how one area, the Lewiston area, can just be absolutely soaked at this moment? Yet we saw Christina and Chris out in, you know, where they were and dry.
Oxford County, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Completely fine.
Welcome to Maine.
Big
it's like
state.
Florida in the summertime in Maine, yeah.
All right, Ryan, thanks so much. Okay, look up blogging on the internet, and Urban Dictionary will tell you it's blogging, but with just pictures, so AKA our favorite thing, Instagram.
But it also means something else. It's an activity that can get your quads burning and your heart racing, and oh, by the way, help save the planet all at the same time.
Even though skies are gray, we're dodging some rain showers here, there are a lot of people exercising down here at the Back Cove, but we're going to do a little something called plogging. What is that, Chuck?
It's an activity originated in Sweden, or dreamed up in Sweden, where the original plogger must have been out for a run, saw something, some litter, and thought, well, pick that up.
So that explains the gloves.
Yes, it explains the gloves.
All right, let's get started.
It's like running, but you have the additional benefit of doing like a little lunge every time you pick something up.
Chuck Wilcoxon wanted to bring plogging to the Portland area.
The Swedes went ahead and hooked people up with heart rate monitors and did the sports science testing, and it determined that plogging was actually better for you than jogging.
He's the director of Team Long Run, an organization that inspires kids to exercise. It even has a program called Race in a Box that will ship you everything you need to hold your own race, complete with t-shirts and cones. Now he's teaming up with friends of Casco Bay.
Casco Bay is just such a special place.
For the first ever Plogathon at Bug Light. The concept, a coastal cleanup combined with exercise. Sarah Lyman says it's important to pick up plastic around the water, considering they just tested samples from the bay and discovered something invisible to the naked eye, microfibers.
They're small pieces of plastic that come from a lot of different things, sometimes the clothes we wear or other plastic-based products. You would never know that those fibers are in the water.
And straws are a particular, menace.
So for fans of multitasking, plogging might be your thing.
And that Plogathon is happening tonight from 6 to 7 at Bug Light Park. And if thunder does happen, there will be another one planned soon.
All right, Pat Callahan is hosting our News Center 530 tonight and has a preview. Hey, Pat.
Hi, Lee and Lindsay. 8-year-old Parker Stevens had a bright future ahead of him until his father's shotgun went off in a bedroom closet, killing him. Now, the people in Oakland are remembering a special boy. And what are the greasiest, fattiest, most sugary items on the menu? We break down the unhealthiest foods at chain restaurants, and the results are rather stunning. It's all coming up at 5:30. News Center Now is back after this.
Just saying.
Tammy says this is so awesome, and I think she was referring to sign language for the Seussical musical.
So
and
cool?
I know, it is just so cool. So yeah, we're waiting for your pictures, if you can take them safely. Are you editing on the fly?
Yeah, we only have like 15 seconds for everything. So do you want me to zip through that?
Sure.
Okay.
My mom just texted me and says,
"Hi, Mom.
You used to do plogging up and down Pleasant Street when I was little." I did. I used to wear, in the summer, I would wear gloves and like mittens, and I would go around and pick up the trash.
Yeah.
And then I'd wash them. I don't know why I wanted to do it.
Well, You're an environmentally conscious.
I guess I am.
Are we staying here for this?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I am more so than I thought I was. I never thought I was like me.
No, Pat.
Oh.
We are going to do a really quick thing about Patriots opening day of practice today, but if you want more, watch News Center Maine at 5:30 and 6 o'clock because News Center had a crew in the old Foxborough today, so we'll have much more coming up.
And check out our Instagram because great story.
Because it's awesome.
Is this updated? Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Thank you.
I'm just going to zip. Are you going to do it or am I doing it?
You can do it.
Okay, because there's no saw. I'm just going to kind of zip through.
You got it.
Way ahead of you. Patriots training camp opened today. The weather wasn't great. The fans didn't care. They lined up bright and early to cheer for their favorite team. Much more on the big opener coming up tonight on News Center Maine at 5:30 and 6 o'clock.
All right, stay dry. That's coming up.
Straight ahead in this half hour, a stunningly quick verdict today in the case of a former Kennebunk High teacher accused of having a sexual relationship with a student.
Parker was so
People who knew him remember the little boy killed this week while handling his father's shotgun. Also ahead.